So I don't know if I'm in the minority for this one, but this was actually my favorite episode this week.
I don't think you're in the minority. I mean, everybody loves rose quartz, but baby sour cream has to be just the cherry on top.
Yes!
Oh.
I think you might have overdone it a bit.
It's just so cute. So much about this episode is so cute.
Yes, this episode was adorable.
So adorable.
So this is Greg the babysitter. In another flashback episode, we see Greg and Rose still enjoying their life, but Greg realizing that he's kind of broke and out of luck. During this time, he goes to see Vidalia, who's feeding baby sour cream, when all of a sudden her babysitter cancels on her, so Greg has to be the babysitter today. He decides to take sour cream to the beach, and he meets up with Rose, who is fascinated by this mini-human.
Oh, I know. Oh, that mini-human is very fascinating, to be fair.
Yes. She talks about how different it is between humans and gems, considering that humans age and change, and gems kind of usually don't.
Yeah.
Greg thinks her ideas would make for great lyrics, so he goes to get his guitar, but when he comes back, they are gone. He goes all around town trying to find them, and eventually finds that sour cream has gotten himself on top of a Ferris wheel somehow. Greg tries to get him off, but Rose, trying to help by stopping the machine, kind of only makes it worse. And eventually, when she stops the Ferris wheel manually, they end up flying in the air, and Rose has to save them. And this somehow, I guess, leads to Greg getting a job. Okay. And that's the episode.
Yeah, basically. But there's so much interesting stuff going on in it as well.
Yeah, that is true.
There's a lot of really cute... Like, I mean, it's cute from the first minute when Stephen realizes his dad's about to tell him a story about Rose and insists on getting it in song form.
That's great.
And then one of the first shots is Rose dancing to Greg singing, and it's so cute. She's such a cutie.
Yes. Yeah, I like in this episode that Rose gets to be mostly not serious, basically.
No, yeah.
Like, she gets to be more casual and stuff.
Yeah, she keeps getting held up as this totally serious, divine rebel leader, and here she's just this big lady who likes dancing and is confused and entranced by the concept of babies.
I just realized how funny that sounds.
Which also kind of, I don't know if it's sadness or what that I'm feeling when I realize that discussing the concept of babies and growing up and baby sour cream with Greg might be what first gave her the idea to have Stephen.
That's where I thought it was going, but then they really didn't go in that direction. I was like, huh, okay.
We don't discuss it in this episode, but it's just a thought that's there.
Yeah.
Baby sour cream is a delight.
Yes.
He's so cute. And he has his ridiculously deep voice.
That was so awesome. I don't know, maybe I'm immature, but that made me laugh really hard.
No, I laughed really hard and at him just doing tiny arm fold and being really happy with his sunglasses. Because
yeah.
Sour cream was clearly cool from the day he was born. And also, honestly, I love Vidalia in this episode in a lot of ways. I mean, her awesome hair, for one thing, but also, it's just really interesting to see her at this point, as being, like, single mum whose terrible bum of a friend is crashing on her couch and eating all her food.
Yes.
I mean, honest to God, I'm not even a single mother, and if Greg tried to crash with me, I would be murdering him within 3 days.
Yeah.
And he's clearly been hanging out like this with her for a long time. Because, like, if sour cream's a baby, I'm assuming this is at least a year or probably more from when Greg quit his music career to moon over his alien girlfriend.
Yes.
Because I'm presuming that's around the time Vidalia and Marty hooked up, and then she probably dumped his ass as fast as humanly possible. But, yeah, and I'm interested in that bit where she's helping Greg put his shirt in the wash, and she mentions that she has a job now, and he's like, you sold out, V. Because Greg is that terrible person who thinks getting a job and paying bills counts to giving up on your dreams forever. And, yeah, it is interesting to me that she does have this moment. It's like, yeah, you gotta grow up sometime. And there's just so many stories to go, yeah, you gotta grow up, you gotta give up on your dumb artsy dreams and pay the bills and raise the child. But the thing is, we also know Vidalia in present time, where she's not working for a t-shirt store. She's raised two, I want to say fantastic kids. I like sour cream, but I have no idea what to make of Onion.
No one does.
She's not working a t-shirt store anymore. She's doing what she wanted to do, which is, be an artist.
Yeah.
And she's very happy with her two kids and her husband, and, she's, at this point, she's a single mother with a job she doesn't like and being told by her best friend that she's sold out for it, her best friend who's mooching on her couch. But that's not forever.
Yeah.
It's nice that, she's only had to put her dream on hold for a little while, pay the bills for a bit. Later on, Greg's made $10 million for music, and she's being a painter like she wanted. It's a hopeful thing for young people working shitty retail jobs and scared they have to give up their dreams forever just to pay the bills. That's just a nice, hopeful thing to show.
Yes, it is. Actually, thinking about that is actually really trying to think of the best way to put this. But that is kind of clever storytelling. That just by having this character in 3 different points of her life, you kind of get that she's just done a lot in her life.
Yeah.
It's just it's really done well. It's not over-explained or anything.
So, it's just, I like Vidalia as a character, and also just in terms of what her narrative over the course of Steven Universe is.
Yeah.
Just between this episode and the episode where we meet her. It feels like it's doing the whole story back to front, but it's... See, this is a good way of giving dimension to side characters without doing terrible episodes focused on them.
Yes, it is. But enough about that. This episode was hilarious.
Yep.
Everything made me laugh. Pretty much.
Basically, oh god, this whole episode was so funny.
I like at the beginning that Steven just now has super speed, I guess.
Yeah, just random new alien powers are showing up all the time, no big deal.
It's literally just like, hey, what did you get so quick? And that's it. No other explanation. Okay. Next. That's not important.
Yeah. I laughed all the way through Rose's explanation of how she didn't even know babies and adults were the same species at first, because she's just like, well, you can walk out and talk, and they just lie there and make noises. How was I supposed to know you're the same species?
That seems to be a recurring trend, that, they just don't know anything that would be obvious to us.
Yeah, which, is also a great example of just how weird organic life is, just when you don't even think about it, because it is normal for us, but
yes.
God, what life is so weird.
Yes.
And I mean, it is basically confirming, everything we found out about the creation of gems at this point. They're living beings, but they're purpose-built for specific purposes. And they're very trapped in those purposes, and what unites the crystal gems is that they clearly hate being trapped in whatever their purpose is. Whereas Rose, I am so curious about, if the diamonds seem to be at the top of Gem Society, but if so, who created them? Did the gems make them? Queen bees? Regular bees just feed one with royal jelly and it becomes a queen bee? Just these gem leaders fully formed out of the earth to lead gem kind? Or just, what is going on there? I'm so curious. But I'm also wondering about the fact that she spent more than 5,000 years on Earth, and she still didn't... Well, she does say she didn't want to say how long it took her to realize that babies and adults are the same species, so maybe she did figure it out back in the Stone Age.
Yeah.
But just how long she spent on Earth being so entranced by organic life and not fully comprehending how much it grows and changes. But it is really beautiful also, her thing about how you can grow, and growing and changing is such a great power of humanity and, organic life in general.
It's a really testament to how well they've kind of done world building and stuff, that just by that explanation, that Rose, the entirety of why Rose loved the Earth just fits so perfectly.
Yeah.
With everything.
Yeah, it's just, she loves people. It's probably part of why she loves plants so much. She has such a huge association with plants.
Yes.
And, I'm presuming that association did not come from Homeworld, because I'm betting flowers are not a thing on Homeworld.
No.
So just her name serendipitously is a flower.
I mean, that is true. So, wait, considering how long she's been our Rose is named after her?
Oh my god, I hope so. God, that'd be great.
Yes.
People see this giant pink lady growing flowers, and it's like, and she doesn't understand what language they're speaking, so she just says her name. She just says, Rose, I'm Rose, nice to meet you. And they think she's talking about the flowers, and they go, Rose, it's a rose. That's what we're calling it now.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That would be great. And yeah, I mean, it was probably a fairly predictable twist though, when Greg leaves Rose alone with the baby that she doesn't fully comprehend for 5 minutes. Something terrible will happen. But I also really like Greg's realization of, hey, I feed myself and clothe myself, and I don't need anyone's help to get down from high. Oh my god, I'm a baby.
He's more like, I am a baby.
Yes, Greg, you're good-hearted, but you are a literal man-child.
Yes, that is kind of true. It is true. Not that any of us would know that, as we're talking about this children's show.
Totally not.
I wrote a lot of notes for this. I'm not sure I'll be able to get into all of them. I also liked early on how Steven basically demanded that Greg play a song. And I just wrote, all Greg flashbacks must have songs now.
Yes, this is the new law.
Yes. Or you'll be arrested by the Steven police.
Oh, he would, though. He actually would. But, yes. In a loving good heart, he wouldn't send you to jail or anything. He'd just talk to you about the folly of your actions.
Yes, he would. This is probably why he shouldn't join the force. Because, if he had to deal with, actual criminals, I mean, he would have a shield at least, so I don't think he would...
I bet you he would never want shoot an unarmed man, though. You need Steven Universe in the police.
That is true, actually.
He's probably gonna want to be in the music career, and he's probably gonna end up, fighting magical monsters by day, playing music by night, or something.
Yes. Oh, maybe, I could imagine he would just get, a secret identity, but, no, everyone would know it, so there'd be no point, but he would still use it.
Yeah, everyone in Beach City knows it's Steven. Everybody knows.
Yes. I have some weird notes here, too. Why did I even write down that that's not even enough for a bad hot dog? And I'm like, that's not true at all. Why did I write that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I suppose you probably know more about bad hot dogs than I do as the vegetarian here.
True.
I will say vegetarian hot dogs are terrible. Don't eat them.
Why would I?
And we see Greg eating fry bits out the trash, which is scaffier than Steven, but you see where Steven gets his thing for fry bits from.
I guess.
And Greg being a climbing ninja on that Ferris wheel.
Climbing ninja. More like sour cream being a climbing ninja. How did he get up there?
How did that child do that? And he's so chill about it. Greg has no chill at all in this scene, which is fair enough because there's a baby on top of a Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
My two notes about this are, Rose, don't solve problems with percussive maintenance. And then, which I'm presuming is a response to her smashing the control panel. And then in response to her flying into the air and using brute strength to save Greg and sour cream, yeah, okay, solve problems by being Wonder Woman. That works. That always works.
That would work.
That's how you should solve all problems. Be Wonder Woman. God, I wonder if Rose even, reads superhero comic books and stuff, and she's like, I have superpowers. I bet she'd be so jazzed about that.
Yeah.
She seems like she would be. She seems like she's fascinated and delighted by everything Earth has to offer.
Yes.
So.
Oh my god, windows! How fascinating. Hey Greg, can you see me? I can see you.
It's like she loves everything on Earth so much, I bet she'd even like Windows 8.
You're pushing it a little. No, she would be calmly disappointed.
She'd be like, "Oh, I'm sure you did your best when you were making this. I'm sure you tried very hard."
she would pat the computer on its head.
So, sometimes, especially when Greg and Pearl are talking about her, sometimes you wonder if she was weird to be around, because she was clearly very, not in a malicious way or anything, but definitely very willful, and that probably comes from a bit of, she doesn't always think through the consequences of her actions on other people, to be fair, she's used to being around invulnerable gems, so it genuinely didn't cross her mind that sour cream could get very hurt climbing on that, I tried to say roundabout. It's a Ferris wheel. It's not a roundabout. There's a 90 degrees inversion there. But, I just wonder if she was difficult to be around sometimes because of that, and, if part of that's her queen bee. But also, she's so sweet and so well-meaning at all times, and just loves everything so much.
Yeah.
Which come through in Steven as well, which is lovely.
I think maybe the best line was when Rose, points out that sour cream is on the Ferris wheel, and she just says, "This will be a formative experience for them." When Greg is getting after him.
Bless you, Rose. You're trying. You really are.
Actually, a point about that. Why did Greg decide to get sour cream first, when Rose is the one with the magical powers?
That is a good question. He might have worried that if he said go get him, she'd just fly off and then, rugby throw him down to Greg or something. He might have been worried that at this moment he's panicking and he's not sure if he can trust his alien girlfriend to handle a baby safely.
Yeah.
He's clearly regretting leaving Rose to watch him for a minute because he's just had this panic searching for them. So at the moment he's probably nope, I gotta get him myself. I love you, Rose, but only I can be trusted with the baby here.
Yeah, I guess so. I did love when Greg was looking for them, and did so just by playing an arcade game, and just screaming.
Sour cream! It also made me think about the episode where Steven's lost control of his shape-shifting, he turns into a baby, and Greg is explaining to Connie that Steven hasn't always lived with the gems. He raised Steven as a baby, because come on, do you think the gems know anything about babies? Which he clearly learned in this episode.
Yeah.
Then at the end, Greg makes the decision to grow up and gives Steven sage advice about it.
We have to grow up sometime. And Vidali's like, that's not really relevant to my question. It's great.
Yeah, the whole station, Vidali's just like, what?
I also loved that right before destroying the Ferris wheel machine thing, that Rose's line was, "Leave Greg alone!"
She's so angry at this machinery that's threatening her cute little squishy human boyfriend.
That was amazing. Just the timing as she says that, just immediately just destroys it.
Oh, I love it. It's great. So
and then the ending. Whatever happened to baby sour cream? No one knows. And then sour cream just walks by. Awesome. Is it bizarre to say that this is actually my favorite Rose episode?
No, this is a fantastic Rose episode.
Yes.
I think there's not a lot of Rose episodes, and the main one that springs to mind has a very heavy dose of pearl salt throughout it. And this one is just so, aside from a couple moments of panic, it's so upbeat and it's so happy and so beautiful.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's just that it was just hilarious from beginning to end. Just everything about it just made me laugh.
Yeah. It makes me feel happy, and it's nice that Steven gets all these happy stories about his mum from his dad.
Yes.
Rather than guilt that she's not around.
Oh.
And I made myself sad. This episode is so happy, why do I keep making myself sad with it?
#Steven Universe.